Demon Clung, Archer Monologues, brought to you by iDemon Studios, Real Deal Books, and McClung Originals. Alright, this time, this episode is 40p. Moving right along. Alright, I'm going to read this. I wrote it, posted it somewhere, one of those social media sites, and in response to the current situation. I'm just going to read it. Let me see if I can articulate my thoughts clearly. Well, apparently speaking plain, correct English these days is not clear to a lot of people. I think a lot of people are illiterate. All right, continuing. I've never had the flu. Now, I admit that I've had flu-like symptoms a few times over the years when I was younger, but it never lasted more than a day or so. So 24-hour bug, you think? A nice hot bath and a couple of Tylenol usually took care of the symptoms, like a fever, Take some Tylenol, get some rest, take a long, sleep, stay in bed. Those achy muscles, chills, and I can remember getting chills and feeling pretty sick. Hot bath helped. All right, Tylenol. I didn't go off to the emergency room or anything like that. This feels like the flu. So I've had a few colds, just regular colds, but it passed pretty quickly. To the best of my recollection, I never had a cold more than 3 days. And I was able to function probably after the first day. Do my job, go to work, which was physical labor at that point. I was in physical labor business. I run a contracting company. All right, so I had was it a sinus infection? I mean, since those times, I've had sinus troubles, allergies for many years. And I'm going to make a confession. It's probably because I smoke cigarettes. All right? I made a confession. I did. Yeah, well, that's probably why I had so many, allergies and sinus troubles. So was it a cold or was it just a sinus infection? Or just a bad case of allergies? Could be. Doctors sometimes said it was. Antibiotics for a sinus infection? Or was it just allergies? Antibiotics. Now, antibiotics for a sinus infection. Now, if you got a sinus infection, that could very well be by bacterial infection and not a virus. So antibiotics for bacteria, sure, that works. Used to be seasonal, like in the spring and sometimes maybe in the fall. The grass pollen and the tree pollen and that sort of thing. Well, now it's all year long. Why is that? Is it just me? Is it because I smoked cigarettes? Or what? I'm not the only one. I talk to people all the time. Yep, I've had that. I got that. I suffer from that. And, take a Benadryl, Claritin, which doesn't work. It's crap. There's another one I can't, Aleve or something like Allegra, whatever it is. I haven't tried that because, I don't think it works. Not from what people have told me. So Benadryl worked, and I took that for many years, and it helped. It actually worked. Get up in the morning, take a couple Benadryl with my cup of tea, bam, good to go. Now, it didn't make me drowsy. It didn't make me sleepy. Apparently I was immune to that. Or I took it so long that my body adjusted and it just didn't affect me that way. I didn't get sleepy or drowsy. It was fine. I know it says on the label, but, it didn't. And then I'd take a couple before I went to bed so I could sleep without, the allergy sinus problems. And when I say I took it at bedtime and went to sleep, does that mean that when I took it at bedtime, it made me sleepy and I went to sleep? Did I use it like a sleeping pill? No. Well, I stopped taking it at nighttime. I didn't notice any difference in my sleep patterns. I usually worked hard and I was tired and I went to sleep. Bam. Well, when I was younger, I actually stayed awake for a few minutes before I went to sleep because, I was thinking. My mind was always thinking. And sometimes it was thinking, artistic things or something to do with creativity in some way or thinking about some project I wanted to work on, art project, or even housing project or remodeling project that I might be working on at the time. Or could have been thinking about, that thing boys think about. You know what I mean. No sense to elaborate. All right. So, another thing. I've never had a flu shot. Never. Ever. Now, those have been available for a long time. I can't say exactly how long since I didn't get one in the beginning when they actually became available. But anyway, I didn't get one. And I've known people who got the shot and said they got the flu. And as I understand it, the flu shot has the flu bug in it. Now, maybe it's a flu bug that's dead or something, and it puts it in the body to get the body to recognize the physical makeup of the bug, the virus, and then produce antibodies to kill it. Well, it's already dead, so then, but it would inspire the body to produce antibodies. So, yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't take the flu shot, so I have no idea. So they might have felt like they had the flu from taking the flu shot because the body was reacting to the dead flu bug that was injected into them in the virus, in the vaccine. So I understand how that works. It's simple. It's science. I understand it. I'm not going to explain that to you now. There's no point to that. You can look it up on the internet, I'm sure. Not that I have, but anyway. And at any rate, like I said, some people got the flu. But I don't want to get ahead of myself here. I'll tell you about my mother here in a minute. All right, so I don't know anybody that's ever died from getting the flu shot. That's not to say that it didn't happen. I'm just saying that I don't know anybody, and I don't remember any reports of it happening. Not that they didn't have reports, but, I never saw any of them. And I suppose somebody listening to this might say, yeah, I've seen some reports. Well, if you want to send them along to me, then fine. I'll check them out. But I don't know if anybody's died from the flu shot. And How about this new vaccine? I've seen some reports on that. Now, the question here is, when you see stuff on the internet and social media nowadays, and they're talking, the flu shot's bad, the flu shot's bad, it's just a flu, it's a hoax, and the vaccine's got tracking devices and nanobots or whatever the heck. A lot of that stuff is just bullshit. Now, if you're listening to me, you probably already know or understand things that I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to re-educate dumb people and stupid people and people that are miseducated and stubborn and won't listen to reason. Well, yeah, maybe I am. But at any rate, the point is, if you agree with me, then I'm kind of being redundant here. If you disagree with me and you refuse to listen to reason, then I'm just wasting my time. So this is for the people out there, however many there may be, who are interested in learning or at least considering someone else's thoughts on various subjects. And this particular subject is the vaccine, for example. Now, I've already got one podcast removed from YouTube because they thought I was talking against the vaccine, which I wasn't. Anyway, they misunderstood because they're idiots. YouTube management, censors, whatever. And that's very bad, and it's very disgusting. And the fact of the matter is, that particular episode was not removed from any other of the platforms that I use to distribute my podcast. None of them. That episode is up there. If you go to YouTube, my channel, and you'll see that there's, episode 30, 31, 32, 34, 33 is missing. But if you want to listen to episode 33, I think it is, then, go to podcasts, wherever you hear your podcasts otherwise. For example, Spotify, Spreaker, which is the host of my podcast, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Podchaser. Oh, and this one, Google Podcasts. Yeah, it's there. So apparently all these other platforms didn't have a bit of problem with what I said and what the title of it might have given somebody a little jolt, but people misunderstood the title apparently, because I did say something to the effect of why I haven't taken the the COVID shot yet. Yet. That doesn't mean I'm not never ever gonna get it, but anyway, I explained that on the episode. So YouTube, shame on you. And I appealed it, of course, and they said, rejected, and it's not back up on her, even though I was very firm in suggesting that, yes, you better put it back up there. But YouTube is getting to be such a bad outlet anymore. They've removed lots of episodes from other people that just, and that's the first episode I can think of that YouTube has taken down from mine. I don't know of any other place. Facebook, of course, is always censoring something and putting me in jail, Facebook jail, and which I'm going to get out of this time on what's today? Friday. Friday afternoon at some point, and I'm preparing a statement to make when I get back on. Now, it's not to say I don't have other accounts on YouTube, Facebook, but my main one has been the one I've been blocked on that one 30 days. Out of the past 5 months, probably 3 months. The fact is, I can't say anything on Facebook without risk of being blocked or kicked off or banned or whatever. Censored, definitely. And I just got a notice the other day that I got 2 of my posts were, against community standards or some damn shit, which of course is ridiculous. Just expressing my thoughts on some things, a couple of them. In fact, it was a response to somebody else who had said something, which, just between you and me, was stupid, and I was simply explaining my point of view on that, and there was nothing there that, how could any, what do you mean, violate somebody's standards? YouTube, Facebook has a freaking standards, pretty low if you ask me, as far as their management of their social media. At any rate, I hope that this one doesn't, this episode doesn't get pulled off of YouTube, because, again, there's nothing wrong with what I'm saying to you now. Nothing. No reason for it to be removed. And, of course, I'm getting notices all the time from people who get their videos or podcasts taken off of YouTube. Tom Woods just told me about someone who had her podcast or video removed from YouTube for no damn good reason, but simply because YouTube is run by idiots and nasty people. I was going to say Nazis, but that's probably not the right word. Anyway, as far as this shot is concerned, I've never had the flu shot, and so forth. Now I'm going to tell you about this. All right, okay, what was I going to say about the vaccine? I've got the reports, and I don't know how to. You can't believe anything these days. These social medias that they have up here, media, that these people post stuff that's just absolutely bizarre and absurd. It just boggles my mind why people think these things, and they spread this stuff. It just gossip, rumors, lies, blatant, outright bullshit, absurdities. It's idiotic, and what's wrong with people? I don't get it. Why all of a sudden, in the last 10, 20 years, things have just gone fucking crazy. So, at any rate, it's just frustrating. So, at any rate, people I know who've had it, the COVID vaccine, say that they're doing fine. A couple people said that their arm was a little sore. They felt a little bit crappy for a couple of days. But, they didn't die. And magnets didn't stick to the arm where they got the shot. I'm sorry. I saw that one the other day. That's just insane. It's funny because this woman, girl, whatever, she said, I got the shot here and here's a magnet stuck to it. I can do that. I can do that trick. You take the magnet, it's not that heavy. You lick it, you stick it on your arm, it'll stay there for a few minutes. Whip-de-doo, big deal. I can do it on both arms. I can stick it to my other places. That means there's metal in the vaccine? You think? Maybe she's just OD'd on iron supplements. It's absurd. No credibility is what I'm saying. I mean, it's easy to test it. Find people that have had the shot, stick a magnet on their arm, see if it sticks. Well, guess what? I've asked people that have had the shot. I've asked them, show me, here, stick this magnet on your arm. Nope. Boom, falls on the floor. Every single time. Not one time did it stick. Oh, unless I lick it a little bit like a stamp and, stamp it on my arm. And, it'll stay until it dries out and it falls off, because there's no metal in the damn vaccine. Now, I'm not going to swear there's nothing metallic in it. I mean, there might be magnesium, or there might be some iron. I don't know. I've seen a list of the ingredients in the COVID vaccine, and I don't even know some of that. I never heard of some of that stuff, but it says it's this, it's that, it's some kind of poison or some kind of thing, whatever. And I think, yeah, but how do I know that? How do they know that? Do they work at the factory that makes the vaccine? Did they smuggle the recipe out or something? I mean, what kind of credibility? I mean, maybe these people, the thing that makes me suspicious is these are the same people that think Trump won the election, or that there was like massive voter fraud, or that aliens abducted them out of their bedrooms at night and anal probed them or something. I mean, really? These are the same people that come up with the most absurd nonsense. I mean, uh, you know, a lot of people actually say things. They post it on their social media called Gab, for example, and they say, blah, blah, blah. It's a hoax. So the pandemic is a hoax, huh? Either they don't understand the definition of the word hoax, or they're idiots. Because I'm pretty sure people who have died from it, you know, let me tell you a story about that guy. There was this guy, saw it on the news, one of the places, and he said, it's a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a hoax. It's a hoax, it's a hoax. It's not real, it's a hoax. Blah, 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 blah. And he insisted. And he insisted right up to the day he died in the hospital with COVID. Yeah, hoax. Insane. At any rate, where was I? All right, here's the thing. I don't go out much these days. I don't need to really. I don't have my construction or my contracting company anymore. I retired it a few years ago because, guess what? I don't have to work. Yeah, really. Lucky, lucky. That doesn't mean I don't work, and it doesn't mean I don't need money. But, uh, you know, let's just say I just let it go at that. I don't have to work if I don't want to. But I work at things that don't necessarily bring me a massive amount of money and income from my contracting work. I've got other things to do now. I'm a full-time artist, poet, author, and podcaster, and other things. And I spend a lot of time making art because I love it. It's the reason I exist. All right, so where was I on my little thing I was reading here? All right, I don't go out much, like I said. I go out occasionally to a doctor's appointment because, I'm getting up there in years and you got to keep an eye on the old bod, you know what I mean? So, go to the doctor every couple of months or so and, how am I doing? Oh, you're looking great and you can't possibly be as old as you say you were. And I say, that's true because what I say is I'm younger than that now. So anyway, and yeah, nothing serious. I'm good. So to run to the grocery store every couple of weeks, no biggie. And yeah, they say you got to wear a mask, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Fine, good, no big deal. It's not going to kill me. And I feel bad for people that have to wear these things all day at work or whatever. It's very uncomfortable and it's just a distraction. I'd rather not have things. But with the exceptions, of course, they put this in the signs. I saw it the other day at a dollar store. It says, you don't have to wear a mask if you've been fully vaccinated. And if you haven't been fully vaccinated, it is recommended that you continue to wear a mask in the store. Be considerate of others, etc. And I said, well, I don't think I'll wear one. And nobody's ever said anything to me. And down at the bottom it says, unless wearing a mask might cause you physical harm. Like if you've got like a breathing problem, like COPD or asthma, or something of that. What's that other one? Breathing one. Can't remember. I got it. I don't remember. At any rate, breathing difficulties. And if you're on oxygen, for example, you got the little oxygen thing stuck on your nose in a tank you're carrying around like my brother 24/7. It might be a little not good. Well, he's got the oxygen in a tank. I mean, what does he need fresh air for? But at any rate, I can use that as a thing, because once I'm in the grocery store and I'm shopping casual like, I'm not gonna rush through the grocery store. I get what I need and get everything I need so that I don't have to come back for a couple of weeks or 3. And so I put the mask on, and I've tried several different kinds, and some of them are better or worse than others. Whether they're effective or not, some people say, they don't have any effect. And Tom Woods has shown charts after charts after chart after chart saying, here's where the masks are, and the cases went up, and here's where the masks are, and they aren't, and the cases still went up, and then they went down, and blah, blah, blah. So, it looks to me like from the charts and the statistics here that wearing a mask, as far as the whole society or the whole area, it didn't really do anything. Didn't affect it going up or down. So, hey, Tom Woods is a pretty respectable fella, and I think he's never lied to me that I know of. Tom Woods, the Tom Woods Show. He's got a podcast and, various other things going, and pretty good guy. Check him out. So at any rate, the charts kind of indicate that the mask thing didn't really help. Well, nobody wore the mask. They didn't wear them properly, or they didn't didn't follow the rules good enough or something. Well, that's just bullshit. Really. I'm not even going to comment on that. So at any rate, my studio, by the way, has been open to the public all along for the past year and a half. I didn't shut it down. I didn't stop working. I didn't close the doors and tell people they couldn't come to my studio or to my little compound, my artistic hub. And people did show up. I mean, the mailman stops, he brings a package, the UPS, FedEx, they bring me stuff because, hey, I order stuff online now, which I've done before COVID. So, didn't change that any, except now that I just do it more often than usual. Because, why go to Walmart when they can bring it to my door? FedEx, there it is. 3 or 4 days, I got it. Why waste my time going to the grocery store? I mean, why waste my time going to Walmart when I can just order it online in 5 minutes and bam, a couple days later they send it to me in FedEx. Saves me gas. And gas prices being what they are today, I don't need to be spending gas. All right. So anyway, I haven't shut anything down. My life's been pretty much the same as it always was, even before the pandemic. So I'm just fortunate, I suppose, that I have that kind of lifestyle. And I feel bad for people who don't, who actually have to go out and go to work somewhere. And mentioned, by the way, that my wife worked at home, which she did before the pandemic. So that didn't change for her. She still worked at home. And she didn't have to go to the office. And that was the condition that she set up for her retirement. She said, I will continue to work after I retire for a few hours a day if I can work at home. And they said, okay, sure. And so she did, and it worked out fine. Then the pandemic happened, and then they had to do the Zoom conferences and stuff every once in a while, or maybe once a day during the week. I don't know, something like that. And so it worked out fine. Didn't change her life much. So that's the way it goes. So there. And I did have to go out and do things. Do a little work project I had to take care of last summer, and I spent 3 or 4 months almost every day going out to a house where a residence, and worked there every day for about 4 months, and I didn't wear any masks, and the people that lived there didn't wear any masks, and we just went about our business, did what we had to do. All right. And so where else am I? Where am I at? All right. I've known a few people in real life, not the internet, in real life, who've had COVID. Guess what? They didn't die. They didn't die. Surprise, surprise. And a lot of them didn't even go to the hospital. I don't know any of them that went to the hospital. I mean, they went to the doctor or clinic office or something, and got tested, what have you, but they didn't die. They didn't even get that sick. I know of a guy who's a good guy, and his family said, hey, he's had it 3 times. 3 times. Now, I kind of questioned that a little bit, because if you've had it once and you get over it, then you're immune, aren't you? I mean, that's what Ron Paul seems to think. Hey, I'm immune. I've had it. I'm done with it. I'm not wearing a mask because, I'm safe. And you're safe from me because I don't have any more. Like, don't know if he had it 3 times or not. But anyway, it's what they told me. And he just took it easy and stayed around the house, and I don't know, took some Tylenol or something, I guess. I don't know. And so I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not going to go to his house and, do a check and test him and see if he's got it or not, or whatever. But that's what I was told. All right, what else have I got? I think there's a lot of needless hysteria. I think that there are hysteria mongers going about the world. I think they're creating hysteria and they're perpetuating the hysteria. And I think it's because they're hysterical and perhaps even psychotic. And maybe they just have too much time on their hands, and maybe they should get a job or something. And by the way, there are a lot of businesses looking for people to work now, and people don't want to go to work because they've been lazy for the last year and a half. Like, I've been getting unemployment. And for one thing, West Virginia governor just ended that extra bonus unemployment that they were getting, and or cut it in half or something. So give them a little incentive to go to work now. I can make more money on unemployment. And I can understand the concept, but, there's no satisfaction about earning money. The government's just going to give it to you. Like, why work? So anyway, they're begging for help. Now, restaurants say, please come to work. We need you to come back to work. And so on. All right. And yeah, do that, please, because I like to eat at restaurants. And if I can't eat at the restaurant, in the restaurant, at least I can take it home. And that's cool. So go to work. Need you to make my steaks, baby. Make my takeout order. And most of the restaurants that I frequented still had curbside pickup or whatever. So I still got to eat my meatball sandwiches from that wonderful restaurant in Fairmont. They're just spreading lies, misinformation. And I understand why Facebook and so on wants to prevent the spread of misinformation, but censorship is not the way to do it. I'm sorry, it's just wrong. There are other ways to deal with that are legal and don't violate people's rights, particularly their free speech rights. By the way, you have the right to free speech because you're born a human being. It has nothing to do with the Constitution. That's just telling you the government. The Constitution is for the government. It tells the government what it can do and not do. And it says you can't violate human rights, government. And it has nothing to do with other people. All right? And I think those people that are spreading this bullshit, these lies, these misinformation, it's just absurd. They have no credibility. You can catch them in their lie. You can reason through what they say and just figure out what the hell they're talking about, and it's nonsense. Like that thing they keep coming up with, and the pedophiles, they're everywhere, they're lurking, they're eating babies and shit. It's just absurd. I'm not going to get into that again, but it's just ridiculous. 800,000 children disappear every year in America. No, that's just not true. It's even absurd to even consider it. They have no credibility. And yet they keep doing it, even though it's just totally... Why wouldn't they just stop and say, wait a minute, let me count the numbers here. 800,000, that's 8 million in 10 years. In 50 years, that's like all the children on the country. There weren't any children left. They all got disappeared and ate by Hillary Clinton or some damn shit. Just absurd. Anyway, they have no credibility, and I'm not taking them seriously. It's just ridiculous. I take them seriously as a serious threat to sane, civilized society, but whatever. They're laughable. Magnets sticking to their arms, for fuck's sake. All right, and so here's a little ending on this. I've already covered that. I think people are getting dumber and more stupid every day, and I don't know why. Maybe they're just frustrated because of the craziness in the world, but you don't have to be crazy. You don't have to be stupid unless you're just naturally stupid. You don't have to actually go out of your way to be stupid. Unless, of course, you just don't have very much intellect. I mean, the average IQ in America is like 90, and the average IQ, standard is like 100. Well, 90 to 110, so you're like low, not very smart. Just, if the average is 90, then, that means like a large part of the population, like half of them maybe, are like less than 90. And then, quite a few of them are like, on the other side of 90, which means, maybe even the smarter people are like only 100 or 110. And a lot of the people that aren't at average intelligence are like way lower than the average, like 40 or 50. And I know people with IQs of 49, 71, 63. I even know a guy that has an IQ of about 32. It's not their fault. It's the way they were born. They can't help it. And I'm not going to judge them badly because of it. It's just the way they are. But when you go around saying stupid shit on the internet, somebody should be watching over you. You need a supervisor. You need some help. You need some supervision. Because you're just, making a fool of yourselves talking like that shit. At any rate. And I thought the 60s and 70s were crazy. Whew. The world now is just fucking batshit insane. All right. I had something to say. I said it. There you go. And I'm going to end this podcast with this. There are solutions to the problems that face humanity today. But they're going to require the solutions are going to require a little imagination, a little bit of creativity. And that's where artists come in, by the way. Artists can solve a lot of problems, or at least bring them to view and expose them to the world. And I don't mean expose them like, these crazy lunatics are trying to expose the corruption in the elections and shit, because it's just stupid. But you got problems, you need to work on practical solutions. I can think of a lot of problems that can be solved very simply. Just stop thinking the way you're thinking. It's an idiotic thought. Don't think that way. It's crazy. I mean, realize that you're just saying stupid shit. Stop doing that. It's ridiculous. Magnus sticking to my arm. No, it's not. 800,000 kids disappear in America. No, they're not. COVID is a hoax. No, it's not. Hillary Clinton eats babies. No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. Donald Trump is still the president. No, he's not. Pedophiles are lurking around everywhere trying to, snap your kids. No, they're not. You understand what I'm saying? It's not true. You're making a fool of yourself. You look like a fucking idiot. Stop doing that. Just stop doing it. Oh, yeah. You know how to solve these problems? Be a little bit rational and, intelligent and sane. Not insane, sane. S-A-N-E. Be rational and logical. Do the math. Like I did with the 800,000. I actually read one the other day that said 1 million kids a day. That kid, whoever said that, needs to be put in a mental institution because they're fucking insane. All right? What about racism? You know how to end it? Stop being a fucking racist. Period. Done deal. Yeah. Oh, no. Just stop. Don't do it anymore. Don't think that way. Don't say shit like that. Just don't. Easy solution. Oh, yeah, I know. Nobody's going to listen to me and do it and actually stop thinking like that. But, that's the solution. So we have to outlive the idiots that are racist. And, of course, make it difficult for them to, practice their racism. Like if you murder somebody, if you're a cop, and you murder somebody because you're a fucking racist, then, don't let that guy be a cop anymore, and maybe put him in prison for murder. He won't be a racist anymore in public. Maybe in jail they'll let him get away with that, but I doubt it, because there are a lot of black men in jail, and they don't tolerate racists very well. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's it. Oh, they wanted the boys to have, be in a girl's bathroom. Guess what? The way to eliminate that problem, don't have boys and girls bathrooms, and teach people, like boys and girls, it's okay to go to the bathroom with other people. It's just taking a piss, take a shit, do your business, and get out. They're going to rape my daughter. No, they're not. That's insane. Stop that shit. Anyway, those are a couple of ideas. And in dress codes, because they're anti-freedom and they're not allowed in a free society. Okay? All right. Pass this along. Share it with your friends and, so on. Pass it, make it go viral or something. All right. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks a lot. D. McClung, Arthur Monologue.